Salut, hola, hello, and welcome to the Goats Podcast, the show where we aim to find the very best in every category that we can think of. As always, I have my two co-hosts in the Discord call with me, Mork and Sebek. How are we doing today?
Good, mate. I've got a haircut, got my tram lines cut back in, feeling good, feeling fresh, feeling chabby.
Yeah, looking good, man.
Let's have a look. Can't really see them, the tram lines.
Can you
There's one there, they're quite faint.
Is it a... Oh, yes, mate.
Oh, mate, you should get the Whipton special, which is crisscross pattern on the back of your head, spray painted yellow. It's called the pineapple.
Nice. I did think about going eyebrow slit into scratch, so it looks like I've been hit all the way through, but I don't know if I can pull that off.
That's cool, though.
Also, through the mustache as well. So it goes beard, hash, eyebrow, scratch.
Nah, leave the dash. That's not cool.
That's cool, mate. That's what people don't tell you is cool. Any Mork, what have you been up to?
Not much, really. Saw you two little fuckers the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, magnet fishing extravaganza.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, we threw a magnet on the end of a rope in the ocean and pulled up some bits of scrap. That was fun.
So many diamonds and so much cocaine. It was incredible.
Yeah. Safe found, passports inside, police called, exclamation mark. That's the thumbnail.
That's the thumbnail.
Yeah, no, it's good. Do you know what? Here's the thing. Everyone was all a bit like, oh, magnet fishing, but so many people came out for it. It was a great time, and we fucking lobbed stuff in the ocean.
And TLP showed up and Lottie.
Yeah, and that had nothing to do with how many people turned up. It was entirely the magnet fishing.
The thing is, a lot of people said they were coming before they knew.
They did. And me and Luce are going to get a bigger magnet, so we're going to pull more stuff out.
And you can actually hook a shopping trolley next time.
Yeah, get
exactly.
In.
Anyway, Vinny, what have you been up to? You been up to anything interesting?
What have you been up to? Let's say you're reading from the teleprompter.
Sorry. I'll do it more naturally. Anyway, what, Vinny, what have you been up to this week?
Old man without his reading glasses on. I found this sport on Reddit. Actually, it's a really interesting sport. It's have you ever heard of it? It's called wrestle ball.
No.
So me and my friend Joel were watching wrestle ball compilations, and we even watched a whole game on YouTube the other day. And it's basically like Russia's answer to basketball. So that what they've done is they've mixed basketball with rugby and also with a spot of wrestling. But the key factor of why this sport is so insane is because at any point in the game, you can German suplex an opponent who doesn't have the ball, but only if you take your shirt off first.
I've seen this. I've seen this.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
It's just loads of guys ripping their shirts off and then chasing another guy down.
Yeah, mate, they rip their shirts off so fucking fast.
They're so quick.
That. Absolutely.
Yeah, the other guy doesn't even know. He's just pick him up in one swoop and just slam him.
What I don't understand is why they don't all run around with no shirt on.
It's against the rules.
It might be against the rules, yeah.
Do you have to put it back on? Or you're not allowed to receive the ball if you're not wearing a shirt or something? That would make it interesting.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just watched a game and a couple, the montages of the German suplexes.
Wrestle ball.
We saw a few in the game, but they didn't really work. One of them was a double one though. That was sweet.
I picked up two people.
Well, he picked up one person, and then his friend tried to help him, but he ended up sort of picking both of them up.
That's nice. I did watch one of those, if you think wrestling's fake, watch this. And it was the world's longest suplex. And it's just guys just joining on shoulder to shoulder until it looks like a rugby scrum. Yeah. And then one side just flips over the other.
I was actually with Joel as well. I was watching some wrestling, WWE, a few weeks ago as well. And that shit, even though it's obviously fake, but that shit fucking hurts.
Athleticism to pick them up.
Yeah, it is a performance and a half to be able to take those hits, those throws. insane.
I mean, it's all about selling it as well, because like when they slam you, they're kind of slamming you very controlled, aren't they? Because like Steve-O, have you seen Steve-O on WWE? Like he very famously, like I think it was Umaga, like picked him up and slammed him because Steve-O was like high. He was like, he didn't know he had to sell it. So he just like started laughing and he was like, no, mate, you're supposed to be like fucking dead. So because he was just laughing, Umaga was like, well, I guess he's fine. Just kept picking him up and started like kicking him in the face and jumping on. He got absolutely battered.
Oh my god,
it's so fun. Like, see, when just sits up, like points at him, and just starts laughing in his face. He's like, right, fuck this kid. It's so funny. Yeah, I watched Steve at WWE.
No selling is like one of the biggest crimes, isn't it? It's like if you no sell stuff, it's like you're a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
My favorite, if wrestling's fake, like people who say wrestling's fake, explain this, is the guy who's got like a sock on his hand that turns into a snake, and then the other guy gets out like a flute and starts playing a flute, and the snake turns on his master, and he's like, ah!
That is great stuff.
That is great.
Incredible.
Oh man, I love wrestling. That's the thing. We were talking about wrestling, aren't we? When I was a kid, I was like, yeah, fuck wrestling, it's fake. But now I just love it. Like I can appreciate it so much how funny it is. I think it's fucking brilliant.
Speaking of wrestling, though, that wrestle ball did remind me of, because I don't think we mentioned it during the Goat Ridiculous Sport episode we did like 50 episodes ago, but like that definitely would have been in there. Wrestle ball is a ridiculous sport, and the weird thing is that wrestling ball it can go from a ridiculous sport, but because of like just people just fucking German suplexing each other and like they don't even know what's happening and they just get fucking suplexed. You know, that shit's going to lead to a lot of, you know, paraplegic-esque disabilities.
Yeah. No. That cannot be the segue.
No. You're not getting it. So wrestling goes from a ridiculous sport. Maybe the Goat Ridiculous Sport to being, you know, people's free pass into Paralympic sports. Because they'll get paralyzed on the waist down. I don't know, man. I sounded way better earlier.
Hang on. There was a point where that sounded good to you. There was a point where you were sat there and you thought, yeah, I think the best I can segue this is, wrestling ball, people are going to be made disabled people. Yeah, okay, that makes it feel...
No, it works. I know what you're saying.
It works. Look, I hear what you're saying. You know, right.
All of this. All of this. Speaking of Paralympic Games...
What do you mean, speaking of? You haven't teed it up. Right, speaking of sports. Go say speaking of sports.
Okay. Speaking of sports, I think we should get to the topic at hand. So obviously, you listener, you know what's going on. You've read the title of the episode, but the Paralympic Games stand as a testament to the quite remarkable spirit of human resilience and athletic prowess. Originating from a humble gathering of World War II veterans back in 1948, the Paralympic Games has evolved into the pinnacle of athletic excellence for individuals with physical disabilities. And whilst Paralympians represent the very epitome of diversity and inclusivity, what I'm far more interested in today is finding out which acts of athletic brilliance landed the select few with the title of Paralympic legend. That's why today we are discussing just who is the greatest Paralympian of all time. And I have two friends who hopefully both have picks. Who I'm sure would love to answer that question for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Could I go first or?
Who wants to go first? More?
You can go first, Seb. You said first.
Mork, you seem really eager to go first.
No. I'm respecting the rules.
Okay, Sebek.
When have you ever done that?
Mate, I always respect the rules.
You've never respected anything or anyone in your life?
That's bang out of order. I respect Jurgen Klopp. Leo, the other day, he was asking me like why Jurgen Klopp's leaving because I was listening to a podcast about it and he heard the name.
He said, "Daddy, why are you crying again?"
No, I wasn't crying, and he was like, "I wasn't fucking crying," and he was like, I said, "Oh yeah, he's not leaving today. He's leaving like near your birthday," and he was like, "Oh, that's good because my birthday's ages away, so he won't be leaving for ages." And I was like, "Yeah," because I keep telling him his birthday's fucking ages away, so what's going on about it?
Is that, and you keep doing this, and he keeps doing the same for you with Jurgen Klopp. He's like, "Daddy, don't worry, it's ages away."
We're really supporting each other.
Nice. That's that's real
Wholesome.
strong stuff. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you'll come to terms with the grief at some point.
Won't.
No.
Right.
I
so
mean,
Beck.
I think I'll struggle, and I just don't like change.
So Beck, I want to hear what
Anyway.
you think is the greatest Paralympian of all time.
What? I think you mean who? You bloody ableist.
Let's say what?
You said what?
Oh, did I?
No, he didn't.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
Oh.
Anyway, so when it came to finding the GOAT Paralympian, I don't know about you guys, I thought this was a really interesting topic. Like, I think it's been a while since we've just done one that's like totally out of the blue, something that we haven't really, I've never really taken time to think about. I know that's bad, but like, it's like when we did like, I can't remember, like, I don't know. It's like when you pick a subject that you've never really had the chance to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are a lot of different athletes competing with a lot of different disabilities, and I am going to be totally honest with you. I went to a pretty dark place quite quickly, which is I just started looking for the most, in my eyes, disabled person doing the hardest sport. And I'm not proud of admitting that, but I'm just saying that's like, as an able-bodied person, I think that's where my head went. Was I was like, look, if I can find a guy with no arms and no legs doing shot put, that's going to be off the fucking chain, in it, because like I can't wrap my head around that. And then worse than that,
impressive, yeah,
was I started getting really picky with it. Like, obviously, my first thing I did was I just Googled the person with the most Paralympic records and the most Paralympic medals, and it's a swimmer from America, and she's fucking incredible. She's won like 41 Paralympic gold medals. And then I found myself feeling very conflicted and quite hateful of myself because I realized that a disability was partially blind in one eye. And this is really bad, but I started kind of thinking, like, how much does that Sorry. It cut at quite an awkward point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Where was I?
Talking about the swimmer.
So yeah, I found this American swimmer, and I found out that her, and I do feel quite conflicted about this, and this is why I didn't go down this route. I found out she was blind in one eye, partially blind in her left eye. And this is really bad, but I kind of found myself thinking, like, how many eyes do you need to swim? Like, surely Michael Phelps would still be rapid if he had one eye. Like, I could swim anyway, and that was bad. And I was like, we're not going down that route. That we're not like. I sort of realized that I'd found this bad part of myself where I was sort of weighing up people's disabilities and working out whether they were worthy of my respect, which I don't think is what this episode is about. So I was like,
naughty Seb.
I know, but I wanted to be honest about it because I think that's like
fair enough.
It's quite a not rational, but it is like a quite, you connect those dots. You start looking at like athletics and you're like, I want to be the biggest and the best, and like who's doing the most impossible thing. And I was like, actually, that's not what it's all about. For me, it's athletics and athleticism and Paralympics and the Olympic Games is about inspiring people, bringing people together. It's about moments of like, oh my God, that was fucking incredible. And so I decided to pick someone who had a lasting impact on me, or at least a fundamental memory, a memory that I remember, a moment that I remember, someone that was big in my childhood, someone who like was like, oh, fucking incredible. And this is an athlete who I actually first saw when I was 11 years old. Ooh. And what is mad, and I actually didn't know this until I started researching this today, is that when I was 11, she was 13. And this is Ellie Simmons. Now,
Ellie Simmons, yeah.
and again, hands up, I think probably because she has dwarfism, I don't know if I knew how young she was because she's already really short. So it didn't clock for me that she was 13 when she was at Beijing. 13!
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it?
She was 13 at the Beijing Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the is that allowed?
I know.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't believe it. I was like, I already really liked and respected her, and I'd watched some documentaries and stuff with her in, and I knew she was who I wanted to pick. But it just had completely evaded my knowledge that she was that young when she started competing. Anyway, we're skipping ahead a bit. Ellie Simmons, she was born in 1994, and she was raised in the West Midlands. The West Midlands.
That was rubbish.
Anyway, I like the West Midlands. That's a bonus point for me. I spent a lot of time there as a kid. Not a bonus point for anyone else. Vinny don't give a shit about the West Midlands, but yeah,
fuck the West Midlands.
She's one of my own. Anyway, she was born with achondroplasia, I think it is, which is stunted growth of the arms and legs. It's actually, if you click on the Wikipedia link, the person that comes up as the little profile picture is Wee Man. He also has the same thing.
Right, okay.
And the most common sort of symptom of this, I guess you call it, is dwarfism. And I looked it up because obviously she has dwarfism, and I was really wanting to make sure I said the right thing. And I have long since thought that calling someone a little person is a little bit, I don't know, patronizing maybe. And apparently I was right because I Googled it and everywhere just call them a person with dwarfism or a person with achondroplasia, which I can't say. Like, it's a condition. If you have to talk about it, just say
a person with this,
with that condition. Like, it's like I realize it's like calling someone in a wheelchair a chairperson. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh, it's a chairperson.
Yeah.
You just be like, it's that person in a wheelchair. Like, it doesn't define who they are. So to call them like a little person is kind of like, well, you don't really need a word for it. They are not that thing. They're just someone with that.
I've always thought
they're not a little person, a dwarf, a this or whatever.
Yeah, they're not.
It's just, you are a person with this condition.
Yeah, exactly.
A person first, not
makes sense.
Anyway,
condition first.
And so she was born with dwarfism, and she was born, and this is pretty fucking rough. She was put up for adoption just a few days after her birth because of her condition. She made a documentary about it where she was called My Secret Family, I think it's called, and she was basically looking to find her birth mother. And in that, before she actually finds her birth mother or contacts her, she starts to read the files that were given in when she was put up for adoption, and it's fucking brutal. Her mum basically found out that she was going to be born with dwarfism while she was still pregnant with her, and immediately kind of lost the connection that she felt with her kid in the womb, which is fucked. And then after she was born, she told the adoption people she wanted her child to die, which is pretty intense. And then she also read
really
out
quickly, by the way.
It is dark, but
I'm all here for like the athletic prowess and seeing what people can do, the amazing things people can aspire to do, and all I'm hearing is just this horrible shit.
Well, look, it's horrible, but it happened, man. And it's a part of the story. Anyway,
sure.
The maddest thing, which is kind of wild, because even in the documentary, it's like, it's not funny, but it's so bad that you can see she's kind of like not laughing, but like is just completely lost for words, which is that she was also shown the document that her mum was given when she was given the diagnosis that her daughter, who was still in the womb, would be born with dwarfism. And it's this kind of like things to know about having a child with dwarfism. And the headlines are that people with dwarfism are often thought of as evil and stupid.
What?
Right? Yeah, this is in 1994, and it also stated that they had a natural aptitude for gymnastic because of their height, which makes them a good fit for the circus.
Right.
This is not from. This is like an NHS document.
That's like an NHS document given to this woman.
Wow.
And like in the documentary, Ellie Simmons kind of says, like, you know, obviously I'm heartbroken that my mum gave me up for adoption, all this, but like, imagine you're pregnant, you're a single mother, which she was, and you're given a piece of paper that says your disabled child is going to be born an evil, stupid circus freak.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked. Like that is not.
That is fucked.
When
There's
was
no
this?
support
So
there.
this is 94. This is around
1994. This is not 1984 or 1894. This is 1994. Like it's fucking mental.
94.
Or 1694.
Or
50.
94 BC.
Oh! Anyway, but yeah, look. Another thing, and this is, sorry, Vinny, I will get back onto the topic of the day.
Athletic prowess. Yeah.
The athletic prowess pretty quickly. But one of the other things she says in this documentary is she starts looking into the rates of adoption for disabled kids today. And out of 1,000 people, 1,000 families looking to adopt, only 8 of them would be willing to accept a disabled child, which is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just mad. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I can't really blame people for doing that though. It's really sad, but like it is a lot more.
This is the thing,
right?
isn't it? It is hard, and like I think that's like, and she does talk about that as well. Like obviously, a disabled child is more effort. It's a harder life, and there's no denying that it is going to be more challenging. Obviously, and it's so dependent on disability. Anyway, you know, it's a very complex subject. But the point is, she was born with quite a lot of stigma around who she was, but she was adopted very, very young into the Simmons family in 1994. So the same year she was born, like very, very quickly. She became one of 5 siblings, all adopted, all with disabilities. And about 5 years old, she became very interested in swimming. See, Vinny, we're getting more back to the athleticism now.
There you go. You're about more than halfway through your allotted time, by the way. So
that's fine.
And you've only said the word swimming twice.
By the time she was 8, so she joined the swimming club age 5, and it was kind of an interesting one. She was talking about it in this documentary where it is just like a local swimming club, but they had a very close connection with the local swimming team. And age 5, she's very, very quickly spotted as someone with, you know, a phenomenal talent for swimming. Right. By the time she was 8, she was competing against and beating able-bodied people her own age, which is pretty fucking wild.
That's pretty crazy.
Impressive.
By the time she was aged 11, her and her mum moved from their home in the Midlands to Swansea to take advantage of their world-class swimming facilities, which I didn't know they had. But apparently Swansea has some great swimming facilities.
I didn't know there was anything in Wales. Hills, rain and sheep. 20 mile per hour speed limits. That's it. Isn't it?
Yeah, and
nothing.
Literally nothing.
Desolate wasteland.
Wrexham. That didn't those 2 guys from Hollywood start a football club or something?
I think Wrexham's actually in England. They just pretend they're Welsh.
No, it's on the border. It's on the border. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically England, isn't it? Let's be honest. Fucking
England. Playing the English football pyramid, don't they?
That's fucking right.
Anyway. Xenophobia aside.
You can talk shit about Welsh people.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Fucking shag sheep on me? What are they going to do? Rape a sheep at me? Fucking hell, mate.
I don't think you can say rape a sheep.
Why not? Do you know why people call them sheep shaggers?
Because there's lots of sheep.
No, but well, yeah, it is that. It's because basically back in the day, if you got caught stealing sheep, if you caught stealing sheep, it was
fuck them.
It was the death penalty. It was the death penalty. Whereas if you were fucking them, it wasn't. So people would be stealing them, and then they'd say, "No, Your Honour, I wasn't stealing it. I was just fucking it."
But you did steal it because you took
Wow.
it back to your house to fuck it. That doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
I guess it was if you were
Doesn't make any
caught.
sense.
If you were caught in the act, like if you were caught in a farmer's field with a sheep between you,
You might pull your pants down and just
You'd go,
pretend
"Oh,
you're
it's
going-
fucking
it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently.
try and segue from raping sheep into Ali Simmons' swimming career then, Seb. You started this mess. Dig yourself out of it.
Okay, well, actually, something else I noticed about sheep is that I saw a video of this on Reddit. About once every 6 months, they have to be dipped in a big pool full of anti-pesticides and that. So, speaking of taking dips in a pool, aged 11, she did move to Swansea to go to the world-class swimming facilities.
Fair.
A year later, she competed aged 12 at the World Championships as an adult.
That is
Which
insane.
is fucking mental.
That is fucking insane. That is.
I know.
I remember when I was 12. Exactly.
I remember when I was 12. I was having fucking trials for West Ham.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Arsene Wenger said on the ball, I was the best one in the club. So
On the ball.
Yeah,
Even the first team.
even the first two, man. I love that clip.
Fuck you, Jeremy Lynch.
The best bit is Fabrice Muamba just getting more and more annoyed, just being
Yeah.
like, "What? No, what?"
He's like, no,
What?
he wasn't there. I know everyone in that class. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's like awkward.
Because he's like such a nice guy, and he really doesn't
Yeah.
get enraged until he says, "I was the best, including the first team." And he's like,
On the ball. He's like, nah. And
like
he's like,
Fabregas.
Sask, Thierry. And they're like, yeah, he's better than them. He's like, nah, fuck off, mate.
Anyway, look, beating Jeremy Lynch only by a hair. Age 13, she became the Britain's youngest competitor at Beijing 2008, which I think even Jeremy Lynch would have to admit is potentially slightly better than his Swazi Techers. Age 13, she won gold in both the 100 and 400 meter freestyle, which is fucking nuts. Like 13 winning gold medals. And then obviously, I think when she probably came to most people's attention was at London 2012. Where she broke 3 world records in 3 days. She broke the 400 meter freestyle world record by 5 seconds. Then 2 days.
What?
And then 2 days later, right? She broke the 200 meter individual medley world record in a qualifying round in the morning. And then the final was that afternoon, and then she broke her own world record again.
I
So
know,
she
they do that in swimming. It's nuts. Like Adam Peaty will like break the world record in the heats and then do it again and you're like, how are you doing this?
I know it's bonkers.
It's
I mean,
mental.
I'm convinced that Ellie Simmons isn't actually disabled. She was just born a fish. And she's just like fucking God given.
Mistaken her for a human. That's fucking.
I don't know if we can say that. That was meant to be a compliment, but it really didn't come out.
No.
Anyway, then at Rio 2016, she broke the 200 meter individual medley again, becoming the first person in her category to go sub 3 minutes, which is fucking insane. She did go to Tokyo 2021 or 2020, but it was in 2020. Who fucking cares? That was that horrible pandemic. However, she didn't get any medals, and so she just hung up her
Hung up her boots.
swimming boots, flippers, a swimming cap, hung up her goggles. Goggles, mate. But just to put her flippers. You don't wear flippers in swimming, do you?
No.
Can you imagine if they did though? Then they'd be fucking breaking some records.
Maybe.
Mate.
Hyper category. Yeah.
Hyper. Just do whatever you want. You got a little motor on your back, like a jetpack. As long as you can, as long as you can stop before you hit the end of the pool, you're in.
You can have whatever you want. There's one guy trying a speedboat, like shaking, like I've got to break or I'm gonna kill all these people behind the ball.
It's gonna mince them. Anyway.
I really want that gold.
Anyway, look, just to put her career into perspective, she ended her career with, and this is just the gold, not even including the silvers and the bronzes, 5 Paralympic gold medals, 14 World Championship gold medals, and 7 European Championship gold medals, which is fucking nuts.
How many world records?
I don't know. I think at least 4.
They're hard to track because what you break them and then they get broken.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
it's
you held a world record at a period. You broke one at a period of time. So it's hard to tell how much because they probably don't have any now because they always just keep getting broken.
She broke 3 in
one day.
She broke 3 in my script. So
yeah, it's like Michael Phelps doesn't have any world records anymore because of a woman broken, but he did break like 5, I think.
That picture of him with his arms out with all his fucking medals, insane.
It
looks
8,
like
I think it was.
Is 8 gold medals?
Yeah, I think he won 8 at one Olympics, didn't he?
Oh yeah, but the one where he's got all of them
from yeah.
It's insane. Anyway, she retired in 2021. She's still only 29. And what's even more mental is, while she was doing all that competing, 13 years old, winning gold medals in Rio, she also went to school and university. She graduated Loughborough with a degree in psychology, whilst also being a world champion swimmer, which I think is fucking mental.
Yeah.
She's gone on to become a regular sports presenter for the BBC, as well as making several documentaries, including the one I talked to you about earlier, and another one about living with dwarfism. She also went on Strictly Come Dancing, which I think is pretty fucking cool, dancing away. And on top of all that, I think she's just an all-round bad bitch who we should all just be inspired by. She's a fucking legend, mate. What a fucking beast.
Would she call herself a bad bitch?
She's from the Midlands, probably.
Because I'm not a woman, I don't understand these, like, girls... Like, what characteristics do you have to have? Do all girls like being called bad bitches, or are there only bad bitches like being called bad bitches? Like, I wouldn't describe every mate I want to compliment. I wouldn't describe him as a fucking cunt. You know what I mean? But like Vinny, I would, because I know he'd love that.
I guess it's just like.
Do all girls like being called bad bitches? Is that, or is it like a self-proclaimed title?
I think it's just
Johnny's a dark bastard, and John will be there like, "Oh, fucking him, yeah."
But a bad bitch is more like a badass bitch, isn't it? It's like kind of like it's kind of got a bit more like to it. It's like kind of whereas like it's not like fucking Ratty and the Nonce.
Yeah, but
anyway, look, that's Ellie Simmons, mate. Fucking
Ellie Simmons. How long was
the woman, the myth, the legend?
2008 till 2020.
2008 till 2021.
2021, and she
actually no. Well, she actually started competing the year before, so it would have been 2007 to 2020.
Right, and she's
14 years.
Her Paralympic career.
Paralympic career would have been 13 years, which I think is fucking nuts. Started at 13, spent 13 years on top, and then fucking left. So I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah, nice.
Why did she leave?
She didn't get any medals at Tokyo 2021 or 2020, whatever it was. And I think she just decided that her best years were behind her. I know that people with dwarfism, their like muscular density and stuff, I think does drop off quite like significantly as they get older.
It's just hard to be at the top that whole time, especially in individual events. Like in football, it's a bit easier because you've got a whole team around you. But like you'll often find Olympians or Paralympians, anyone who's competing individually, that they do their years. And they know when it's like, I can't do it anymore. And they don't even bother trying because they're like, I can see these new guys coming through. They're faster than me. They're stronger than me. Like, I can't do it.
If you're not the best, if you're not competing for the best, then why are you competing?
They just know that it's fine, yeah.
Usain Bolt was like 33, I think, like not like super old. He might have been.
No, but he only did 3 Olympics and he did 8, 12, and 16.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly the same as Ellie Simmons did one more. But she was 13 when she started.
Yeah.
And I still think, for Paralympics, before you're fucking 29 is pretty mental.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Wow. How often did she win? I don't know if you know the stat, but how often did she win gold in an event she participated in? Like, what was the sort of percentage?
I mean, I know
I found that hard to track as well.
She basically, she won 3 or 4 gold medals at every Olympics, and I think she competed in like 4 or 5 categories. So she was pretty
like 80% kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like she was pretty prolific.
Wow, that's really impressive. That is really and just even as far as Tokyo, she was winning gold.
Yeah, so right up until then she was, and then I think Tokyo she just
That was
something,
it, yeah.
something didn't work.
Yeah.
She dropped off. She didn't win anything at Tokyo, and I think she was just like, that's me done.
That's me done. Yeah.
Which I think also like takes some balls as well. Like I would really
100%,
struggle
yeah.
to like let it go. Look at fucking Cristiano, mate. Just
Yeah.
fucking even I'm like.
But again,
nah.
team sports are different. But like in individual events, like a lot of them do have that thing of just like, this is going to be my last one because I can see these guys or girls coming up, and they're just so much. I can't compete with them, so I
Yeah.
can feel it in their bones. Nice,
Wow.
good pick.
Yeah.
I like Ellie Simmons.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Seb.
That's all right.
Now to the middle bit. So I do have a quiz, but it's not just a regular old, when was the Paralympics founded? Where was the first Paralympics? Yada, yada, yada. None of that bullshit. We got something a bit more exciting. So obviously when it comes to sports, and especially the top end of sports, the unfortunate side of that is that you get injuries. Yes.
Ooh.
So I have some data. I've collected some statistics on the London 2012 Paralympics.
Say
Of course,
statistics again.
Statistics. I've got some stats on the London 2012 Paralympics, which are quite obviously, they were the best Paralympics, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No questions. And it's all on injury rates within sports. So what I'm going to do is you're each going to go in turn. Mork, you're going to go first. I'm going to name you two sports, and then you're going to say which one had a higher injury
Injuries.
rate.
Nice.
Injury rate, like per
Percentage
people.
of injuries per, nice.
Per
I like
90.
it. I like this. Injuries per 90. Got it.
Injuries per 90, yeah. Which one had the highest one?
The Premier League.
Okay.
It's pretty high.
Mork.
Yeah.
Wheelchair tennis, wheelchair basketball. Don't laugh.
No,
Why'd
because
you
I'm just trying to
laugh?
think. Because it's like, you can get really injured playing wheelchair tennis and wheelchair basketball, can't you? Because not only are you like moving around, you've got a chair to contend with that can bash into you or bash onto you. So that's what I'm thinking. God, yeah, I bet there's fucking loads of injuries. Wheelchair tennis or wheelchair basketball. And I've seen a lot of wheelchair tennis. I
know the answer. I know the answer.
I haven't seen that many people like getting injured. I'm going to say wheelchair basketball. It's more contact. There's going to be more contact by the nature
Wheelchair
of the sport.
basketball's called murder ball.
So the
Is it?
answer is wheelchair tennis has more
Oh,
injuries.
what?
Really?
Or had more
Damn.
injuries at the 2012 Paralympics. I can't say if that's like, I can't say the average. I couldn't find the statistics of the average. I could only find
Right.
quite niche sort of studies, but
That's crazy because I've watched a lot of wheelchair tennis and I haven't never ever seen anyone get injured. I've never seen anyone like, I guess in doubles, maybe you can like crisscross and bash into each other. Maybe like falling out is a thing, but
it's very, the thing is, it's very, tennis.
Very
is-
fast.
It's
Yeah.
explosive. So they might get like strains on their like wrists or something like that.
oh, of course, yeah,
Wheelchair-
because they like whack it and then they have to sprint
stop,
like
and then
to the other end.
Yeah,
Mate,
accelerate,
wheelchair
decelerate.
tennis.
And they do like the
blows my
360s
mind.
because they go like towards the wall, bang, and then they have to turn to go back up the end of the court to turn again to come and get the ball as it's bounced because it's going to bounce
impressive.
far away. It's
really
like,
cool.
fucking nuts.
I-
It's really cool.
I struggle to position and return a serve stood up.
yeah,
Like the
same.
idea that I would have to wheel myself into position.
Yeah, it's
fucking
crazy.
Mental. To
Yeah,
me.
I'm not very good at tennis, let alone if I was in a wheelchair. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. So unfortunately, Mork, you got that one wrong. So over to you, Sebek.
I would
Bug
say
out.
the same.
Wheelchair basketball,
That's not the question.
athletics. I believe that's
Right, now-
athletics.
My immediate reaction would have been wheelchair basketball because I know it's called murder ball and they crash into each other. I'm guessing that it's a lot of crashing and bashing. They aren't seriously injuring themselves. And in my head, I'm like, well, people get injured in athletics all the time. Like gymnastics is fucking really injury prone, isn't it? Like you're doing flips and shit.
Right.
I'm gonna say athletics.
You're going to say athletics has a higher injury rate?
Athletics is like gymnastics and pummel horse and that, isn't it?
Athletics is like... It's like
running around
hurdles,
100 meters.
sprint. I don't know what they do at the Paralympics, though, to be honest.
Lock in his answer.
Long distance, it's like running.
I'm still going to say that. I think it's more explosive. I think you're more likely to do...
Okay. Athletics has the higher injury record.
Yeah, I would have said athletics. Because also there's just way more competitors in athletics.
Yeah. Also, just like jump.
Well, no, it's
jump
rate. It's rate of 1,000 people, so it's per 1,000 people. So that shouldn't affect it if there's more people.
No,
but just sprinting at a hurdle and trying to jump over it's fucking injury central, isn't it? Like that's nuts.
Pole vault.
Yeah,
long jump.
It's impressive there aren't some like hideous injury every single fucking time.
I know. Have you seen javelin? The guys who like stand there and measure the thing are not very far away from the thing.
No, they're just like looking.
Yeah.
And there's no net either. So like the only
what's
thing
a net
stopping...
going to do against a javelin?
Well, anything. Like there's the only thing not stopping the javelin being thrown and spiking someone in the crowd is the fact that it's humanly impossible to throw it that far.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
The world record's like 80 meters. Like they just know no one's ever going to throw it like at the other side of the track.
I'm sure I saw on Reddit a marshal get spiked. I'm sure I've seen a marshal.
They might do, but like you're not gonna. It's not actually that injury. You're not gonna throw it into the crowd.
Okay.
Because you just can't throw it that far. Yeah.
Moving on, Mork.
Yeah.
You're down one. Can you get this one? Can you go level with Sebek? So, athletics and judo.
Oh, it's got to be judo.
You going for judo?
It's got to be.
It is athletics.
Fucker.
Ooh, that is a tough one.
Because I was like, oh, they're throwing each other. There's got to be loads of injuries. Yeah.
You would have thought so. Yeah. Sebek, time to double your leads. Judo or table tennis?
Again, my head initially would have gone judo for the same reason as Michael, like it's throwing and stuff. I actually tried judo the other day and immediately pulled my knee. It was fucking insane. Like it's just explosive and throwing, you're hitting the ground. But they're doing it at a very high level. And normally the higher the level you get in...
The less likely the injury. Like perfect technique. Yeah. Yeah,
like it's combat sport, but it's not non-destructive combat sport. Like judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like you're not trying to like hurt people, you're just trying to like submit them. So I'm gonna say again, it's quite explosive, it's a lot of funny angles, maybe on the ankles. I'm gonna say table tennis.
It is judo.
You fuck.
Obviously table tennis.
But I mean it was I just think
it's a pub game.
Right.
It's not a pub.
Mork, you have a chance. Sport. You have another chance to level the playing field. So, table tennis or goal ball?
What's goal ball?
Good question. I forgot to look up goal ball.
Is it goal as in score a goal? Ball?
It is... Oh, hang on. So it looks like it's like some sort of sport where you kind of wrestle a ball into like
for visually impaired people, and they're like looks like dodgeball.
Yeah, except there's a goal basically.
There's goals on either end, and you lay down. It's like big goals. Lay down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say goal ball.
Sick.
Goal ball, definitely. It does look sick. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna go with goal ball.
Yeah,
it is goal ball.
Yeah.
Correct. Well played.
I love how we're celebrating more people got injured.
Yeah. Sebek.
Yes.
Goal ball.
Yeah.
Or five-side football.
Say goal ball 10 times fast.
Goal ball, goal ball, goal ball, goal ball, goal ball, goal ball, goal ball.
I've not seen goal ball. But from what you were describing,
it's on the floor. They're on the floor and sort of dodgeball.
Are they wrestling? Is there physical contact?
Really far away from each other.
Okay, then
yeah,
five-a-side football. Five-a-side football, 100%. Any contact sport is going to have a higher level than a non-contact.
It is. Five-a-side football. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Well
Bastard.
played. It's taking the lead. 2-1 to Sebek. Mork.
Yes.
Five-a-side football or powerlifting?
Five-a-side football. Sport I'm very good at. Or powerlifting.
I don't know if you're good at
Sport.
blind five-a-side football,
Not
which
really.
I think is the category.
Oh, yeah, no, probably
I mean,
not.
when he plays, he basically is playing, but he never fucking looks up.
Hey.
I mean, your head's saying powerlifting, isn't it? But then they are. I've watched a lot of powerlifting as well, and they don't generally get injured because they're lifting with perfect technique every time, and they know the weight they can lift. So they're lifting a weight they know they can lift anyway.
Mhm.
So they don't generally get injured. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to say five-a-side. Because
It
it's
is.
unpredictable.
It is. Five-a-side football. Well done.
Yeah, 100%. I would have said
Logic.
Well played. Well played. All right, Sebek. By the way, I could keep going for ages. I don't really have an end.
Okay.
So
What
just
is it?
when
How
you
many? What points are we on?
You're on 2 apiece. 2 all.
First
First
to
to
4?
3. First to 4.
First, okay, we'll ask you Sebek. So Sebek, powerlifting
Mm-hmm.
or wheelchair rugby?
Oh, is that the one they call murder? Again, I'm gonna I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like any contact sport is going to be higher. So I'm going to go wheelchair rugby.
It is. Powerlifting.
Oh fuck!
Get wrecked.
Yes.
Are we doing first
Walk
to
to
3 or
win
first
it.
to 4?
Mork to win it. First to 3. I've changed my mind.
1, 2,
All
3,
right.
4, 5, 6. We'll do penalty rules. So wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is the last. So Mork, this is your last shot, and then we go into sudden death.
Okay, so I can win it here.
You can win it here if you get this and Sebek doesn't get his.
No problem.
Wheelchair rugby
Yeah.
or wheelchair fencing.
Wheelchair fencing. How are you going to get injured? Do that? Poke each other in the eye? But they're wearing a mask. Wheelchair
It's
rugby.
explosive. It's explosive though.
Nah, wheelchair rugby.
It is. Wheelchair rugby, you are correct.
Fucking told ya.
Although not by as big a margin
Slam
as you'd
dunk.
not by as big a margin as you'd expect. I think they were right next to each other on the thing.
I don't care. Slam dunk, Seb.
So I have to get this one to stay in the competition.
Sebek, you have to get this one. You can't you can't hit the post.
No, he's out. Is he not out?
No,
No, because you went first.
this is his 5th shot now. So
Mate, you don't have this. You're going to take too long a walk up with the ball. You've got fucking
Mork's messing with the
Emmy
ball.
Martinez.
Mork, I'm booking you yellow card. No more of that.
That's what he does.
Sebek, stay in the game.
Yes.
Wheelchair fencing or track cycling?
Wheelchair fencing.
It is wheelchair fencing. You're back in the game.
Ice in the veins, mate.
Back in the game.
Ice in the veins. Really? Because track cycling's well dangerous.
Yeah, well, I guess wheelchair
Well,
fencing.
Did you
is a
see?
little bit more.
I mean, at Tokyo, that person, I can't remember if it was a man or woman, but they shot off the fucking velodrome into the stands.
Jesus, what?
Did you not see that?
Nice.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they I can't remember what happened, but they went up and then just went boop, over the safety barrier and into the crowd.
Wow.
That's a bad day at the office.
Yeah,
mate.
it was bad. It was bad.
Wow. Okay, so we're into sudden death. That means so.
No problem.
Mork. Track
Yep.
cycling or road cycling?
Road cycling.
It is track cycling, unfortunately for you. You missed your
I was
shot.
thinking because in road cycling they're all bunched together and they're always crashing and falling off.
But do they get injured?
Damn
That's
it!
the
Well,
real
yeah, if you
question.
crash your bike,
Could do. Sebek, to
Yep.
win it.
Nah.
Road cycling or archery?
He's not got it.
It's gonna be road cycling.
It is archery.
What?
Okay.
Hang
Come
on,
on,
what? Archery? What are people
Yeah,
doing?
bro.
Shooting themselves in the face?
Elbow
It's blind archery.
elbow
as well.
injuries.
I don't
What's
think
that?
it's blind archery.
No, you can really injure yourself in archery. The string can hit you in the arm, elbow.
Yeah, it's a big,
Also-
big bit of like weaponry you got. That thing is
Fucking
gonna fucking pack
wow.
a punch, and if you
Yeah,
get
bro.
it a bit wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mork, back to you.
Yeah.
Archery or equestrian?
Hang on, I thought more could just. Oh no, because we both missed.
Yeah, you both missed. Still sudden death. Archery
Or equestrian.
equestrian.
Oh, surely they don't get injured in equestrian's not even a fucking sport. I'm sorry, I can't fucking stand equestrian at all, so I'm just gonna say archery.
It is equestrian.
Twats.
You look like a knob, mate.
I don't care. I'll happily lose. I'm not saying that. That's not even a sport. It's not even, doesn't even count.
Sabek, to win
Yes.
And horses dancing.
to win it,
Mm-hmm.
equestrian
Yes.
or swimming? Hmm.
I'm really equestrianing my judgment right now.
I'm really questioning my friend choices now.
Swimming. I feel like swimming injuries are quite minimal. I'm gonna go equestrian.
It is equestrian. You've won it. You've won the middle game.
Fucking brains, mate!
You can have it.
Well
On your little
played.
YouTube channel.
Yes. The only ones I didn't mention were boccia, which I forgot to look up as well. Although I looked up how to pronounce it, funnily enough. I didn't look up how it works. Sailing, rowing, and the least injury prone of them all, shooting. You'll be maybe surprised to hear that football, five-a-side football, is the most injury prone, followed by powerlifting and goalball.
Goalball looks sick.
I wouldn't have thought goalball had a lot of injuries, but looking from what I saw, it didn't. It's not super contacty, but
No,
I
maybe
don't
the
know,
ball just getting walloped in your face and
it's not going to hurt that much. to give you an
diving
injury.
around the floor, like laying down is quite.
Maybe, yeah.
Like when I lay down and stand up, I'm like, oh fucking hell, my hip and all this. Like imagine
You're
throwing
not an
balls
elite
at each
athlete.
other. No, I know, but still, like, oh, fucking hell, laying down's tough, man.
Right.
True.
Well played to Sebek for winning the middle game, and also well played for winning the. His pick is better than Mork's probably. But we'll give Mork the chance to win a consolation prize.
What is with all this shade with whoever wins the middle bit is always just like, I fuck the other person every episode. It's always like, oh, Seb's won the middle bit, Mork can only draw.
Mork can only
I know,
draw.
it's fucking great.
All right, okay. No, I want to hear what you think is who you think is the greatest Paralympian of all time.
Okay, well, I'll start by saying how much I love the Olympics and Paralympics. I mean, I've said before that watching all of London 2012 was one of the best summers I've ever had. Because I love the competition, I love the athletes, and I love the fact that most of the athletes, like Seb said, Ellie Simmons was doing her schoolwork at the time of competing in the Olympics. They're not necessarily even getting paid to be at the Olympics. They're not rich, famous football players or stars. They are just the best of the best in their category, and they turn up and they compete against the best in their own sport for fucking glory. And I love that.
Absolutely.
And I think that the Paralympics is incredible as well. I didn't really know about it until London 2012. And it was just nuts watching that. Like, the heart and determination of these athletes is insane. And again, they're competing at the highest level possible and winning glory for their nation. And I just I love it so much. But anyway, on to my pick. There's no beating around the bush with this pick. They are just the GOAT. It's simple as.
Okay.
And it's somebody called Trishka Zorn.
Trishka Zorn.
I think she's called Triska Zorn Hudson.
Triska.
Is this the swimmer who's blind in one eye?
Triska is her name.
It is the swimmer who's blind in one eye, isn't it?
So,
this big got a mention
because I don't think she's blind in one eye.
She's blind in 0 eyes.
Well, just listen, and then you'll find out.
Okay, Triska Zora was it?
Triska Zorn.
Triska Zorn. Okay.
Trischa. Triska.
Okay.
So she was born in 1964 in California, and she was born with a condition known as aniridia. Yeah, aniridia, which is a rare genetic eye condition caused by the dysfunction of the PAX6 gene. And that gene is responsible for the development of the eyes. So if you have this, then your eyes develop prematurely. So they don't grow properly. And so this condition basically sees people being born without irises.
Damn.
So they don't have that lens in their eyes.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe
so they are.
Is that why when you see like blind people in like animated shows or whatever, their eyes are like grey?
Creamy grey.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. So they are legally blind, but they can actually see a little bit in front of them because the rest of their eyes might have developed. So they can see like a bit of stuff. But the biggest problem is they don't have fucking irises. Right. So that means regulating the amount of light coming into the eye doesn't happen at all.
Oh, yeah.
So even though you can see a little bit, like imagine walking out of like a really dark room into bright sunlight, and then your eye doesn't regulate that light change. That's kind of what this is.
Quickly going back just a bit, just to talking about them being able to see, even though they have this condition where they're basically almost completely blind. It actually I thought it was an interesting fact that I found out that only 15% of people who are legally blind actually are fully blind.
Yeah.
You normally think, I normally would have assumed that most of them were fully blind, but it's only 15%.
Legally blind isn't. Yeah, that's why they say like visually impaired or partially sighted quite often. They don't say blind because most blind people by definition aren't actually blind. Well,
like Stevie Wonder's not blind, is he? He can see.
Yeah. There's that story from Shaq. Have you heard it? Where he's just like, they live in the same apartment or something. Where his girlfriend lived in the same apartment and he's visiting, and he saw Stevie Wonder next to the elevator, and he was like, "Oh, hey, Stevie," and Stevie like pressed the button for like his floor, and he was just like, "He ain't blind." As well, press that button. It's like, yeah, he's probably not fully blind, you fucking idiot.
So if he's pressed that button like a million times because he fucking lives there, he knows where the button is.
Exactly.
And it might just have braille on it. Anything, any number of outcomes other than
he doesn't know that he didn't know that he got off of the right floor. He might have just got off.
He just fucking goes through it and it's like, I hope this is my floor.
Every day he just walks into a different apartment.
Yeah.
And they see it Stevie Wonder, so like, I'll come in for a couple of
Yeah, it's Stevie, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They say
they're like, second time this week, son, you're getting you know.
Surely Shaq looked at him and said, "That's very superstitious."
Anyway, Mork.
What?
Superstitious is a Stevie Wonder song.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway, so...
Sorry, what do you want from me?
To not make those jokes. All right, Mork.
Yeah. So that's the condition, right? But she actually had implant irises put in, which, from what I can gather, because this is all... I mean, this is in the 80s, 60s, like, 1964. This is very old information. It was really hard to do this research, but... From what I can gather, these iris implants can improve your sight a little bit, but that's not really what their kind of primary role is. They're not really there to improve your basic eyesight.
Okay.
They're really just kind of designed to help mitigate the light issue.
Right.
So despite having iris implants, you still might only be able to see like a couple of feet in front of you, really. So that's kind of where she is. But despite all of this, she shouldn't be defined by her condition or anything like that, because she is, in fact, a Paralympic gold medalist swimmer. Now, we will get on to how many gold medals and all of that later, but let's just take it back a little bit and start with our first games. In 1980, age just 16, not quite as young as Ellie Simmons, but still very young, 16. She qualifies for the Paralympics in Arnhem. What?
Arnhem.
Why is that funny, Seb?
Anaheim.
Anaheim.
There was just
Arnhem.
Anaheim.
Arnhem in the Netherlands.
Oh, is it?
I think it's called Arnhem, yeah.
Arnhem.
I thought it was Anaheim.
Anaheim's in America. Arnhem, I guess. Is in...
So she qualifies for the Paralympics in Arnhem while juggling training, school, and everything else that she has to deal with. While she's there, she wins 5 individual gold medals and 2 team gold medals. So she's got 7 in total in just her first games, age 16. She's only ever competed once, and she's already won 7 gold medals, which is nuts. Yeah. Without throwing shade, that is more than Ellie Simmons won in her career. Now, at 20 years old, she went to the games in New York in 1984, and she won 6 more gold medals and 1 silver medal. But now you're thinking, right, that's a fucking good haul. 13 golds, 1 silver. But you're probably finished now. Like, that's the peak. You know, you get a couple of good years and then you peter off. It's all down to the bronze leagues for you now. Nope. Because she won 12 gold medals in Seoul in 1988. Jesus. And then she won 10 gold medals in Barcelona in 1992.
What the fuck?
Right, let's just cut to the chase, right? Triska Zorn competed at 7 Paralympic Games over a 24-year period. She won, ready yourself, 55 medals, which is comprised of 41 gold medals, 9 silver, and 5 bronze. And if you're thinking, well, that's great, but maybe like Paralympians, you know, they compete in a lot of events and they have long careers, so maybe the average medal haul is pretty high. So, you know, those numbers aren't astronomically high. No. She's the most decorated Paralympian in history, beating second place by more than double, because second only has 27 medals and she has 55. She has nearly double the amount of gold medals that second place has medals in total.
What nationality is she?
American. California.
Yeah.
She also beats the most successful Olympian of all time by nearly double, because Michael Phelps, the fucking scrub, only has 28 medals in total. She has 55 medals.
I mean, that's fucked.
She has also held 8 world records, which is more than Phelps. Like, these numbers are fucking astronomical. And I am a sucker for stats. I mean, come on, I fucking love stats, right? And these are some of the best stats I've ever seen in my entire life.
Right.
I mean, literally the best, the greatest Paralympian or Olympian of all time. 41 gold medals. And then I've written Unbelievable Jeff. And I was going to try and do that more seriously. But I don't think I can. Right?
What was it? 41 gold medals, yeah?
41 golds, right?
Right.
Listen to this. This is unbelievable, right? By herself, she's won more gold medals at the Paralympics than Argentina, Portugal, Jamaica. She's also won more than Jamaica have at the Olympic Games, Mexico, Ireland, and Zimbabwe, who only have ever won 3.
Don't throw my country in the What's that all about? Hey!
Hey!
Just think about that. By herself, she's won more gold medals than Jamaica have as a nation in history.
Yeah, that
even in the Olympics, where they're well renowned for like winning all the sprints. No, she's won more gold medals by herself.
It is almost like it is almost as if in America you have way more money and way more access to resources that help you develop your career compared to Jamaica.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm just trying to say how crazy the numbers are. All right. There's no need to go proper on it.
I'm sure like Cristiano Ronaldo scored more goals than Jamaica.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
No, I think Jamaica scored more than 800 goals.
Maybe.
In that whole, how many?
Obviously, in
I
their
don't know.
whole history, hundreds of years of history.
Is it hundreds plural? No one has hundreds of years of history of football.
Yeah, Britain.
It's like 100 years.
Like 150 years or whatever.
That's
so
less
I
than
know
hundreds. Hundreds is at least 200.
Look, let's stop. Right. The amount of gold medals that she has is fucking madness.
Right, yes, of course.
It's like I was saying to you very earlier, it's like the Wayne Gretzky thing, right? The numbers are so staggering and over such a long period of time that there's no debate. This is just the greatest Paralympian ever to exist.
Sorry, just to interrupt.
More than double.
Sorry, just to interrupt. The Jamaican national international team have scored 787 goals and conceded 778. So Cristiano Ronaldo has scored more goals than Japan.
That's incredible.
Irrelevant.
That is actually quite incredible. That is a pretty incredible.
Irrelevant.
I just looked it up, and 41 gold medals means she's earned about 4.5% of America's entire gold medals in the Paralympics. It's pretty insane.
4.5% by herself.
Yeah. If you had that on a pie graph, you would see that 4.5%.
You can see that bit of just her.
You can see the color. You know what color she is.
And the thing is, you wouldn't see anybody else because they've got like 2, 3.
I mean, on the pie graph, you know. Anyway.
What colors she's represented?
Oh,
the red, white, and blue, of course.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, the only really, really disappointing thing when doing this research is that it's really hard because I think recording and reporting of the Paralympics in the 80s doesn't really exist. So I just had to trawl through like snippets of interviews with her and all this kind of stuff to get my information.
So what you're saying is these could be like Pele.
I was about to say,
medals.
this is like
No,
Pele.
they're not Pele medals because they're reported by the official Paralympic committee on their website.
Committee?
So of course they're not Pele medals. How dare you disrespect her by saying they're Pele medals? These weren't scored in friendlies. These are Paralympic gold medals. She's got 41 of them, Seb. How many have you got?
Well, I've got none. I'm not Paralympian.
Exactly.
How many do you have?
10. No. The other really disappointing thing is that, as well as the research being really hard because there's just not that much information out there, there's like no footage of any of her races. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
Really?
I couldn't even find footage of Ellie Simmons in Beijing 2008.
Yeah,
Really?
it's crazy how you just can't find the stuff. Yeah,
She won gold medals there.
I know, it's nuts.
Just doesn't exist.
Yeah. The only bits I could find were like these tiny little snippets in like an introduction video of when she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're showing these little clips. And to be fair, like she's basically finishing the length of one starting, which did look nuts when I paused the video. I was like, fucking hell. But I would love to like watch that and see that properly and really been able to research this properly because my script is nearly finished. There's not much more I can say other than she's definitely the best. Look at all of her medals. And I think it's a big disservice that she's kind of like, you think she'd be a household name. She's got fucking 41 gold medals and you'd never heard of her and there's no footage of her and there's barely any research that you can do about her other than these interviews. She's just kind of completely forgotten. She's even called like the Olympics forgotten lady or whatever in a couple of these interviews because she's so ridiculously good and there's not much about her.
Didn't she go on to be like a lawyer or something?
Wait, because you're ruining. Why don't I just when you say Ellie Simmons, why don't I just go? Oh, didn't she win 5 gold medals?
I was setting you up. I thought I was helping.
This is how conversations normally work, Michael.
Now,
not even a Michael because you've been naughty.
So my next line was going to be, and also, aside from the Paralympics in 2007, she graduated from law school and now she works for the US government as a lawyer in the Department of Veterans Affairs, obviously helping out with veterans. And also she sees some of those veterans going into the Paralympics after injuries sustained in war, whatever. Yeah. Which is incredible work to be doing.
It ties it back to, it's like a nice little bookend, ties it back to how the Paralympics
back to what you said about
they start
exactly
as, World War II vets.
Exactly.
What an episode.
And
Beautiful.
that's it, really. I think she's an incredible person. She's an inspiration, a fucking incredible athlete.
She's not dead, but
41 gold medals, and of course, like by more than double, by far the greatest Paralympian of all time.
It's interesting you both picked swimmers. Is that just because swimmers, in swimming, there's just a fuck ton of medals to get? Because there's Phelps, who obviously has a fuck ton of medals himself.
Well, she won 12 at one games. Now,
yeah,
you can't really do that in cycling. There's a lot, but there's not really many, disciplines you can compete in 12 separate events at one games.
I think like in rugby and like in football, it is literally there's just one gold medal.
There's one. Yeah, you can only get one. Yeah,
it's mad. Like with the cycling, it always fucks my head that like Bradley Wiggins does like the velodrome one, where he just cycles in a circle for like 5 minutes, but he also does like the Tour de France.
Yeah,
really?
Like it's fucking like it's insane.
He does
like,
the road race. Yeah,
wow.
like that's like Mo Farah also doing the 100 meters.
Yeah,
like,
they don't all do that.
No, they don't.
Bradley Wiggins was a bit of a beast, to be fair.
Wiggy Smalls.
No, Wiggins wasn't on the juice.
Mate, have I ever told you my facts about juicing back in the day in cycling?
No, but probably.
Didn't you
say that they found so much juice in Lance Armstrong's piss that it like started a nuclear war?
No, I didn't say that. Basically, Lucy's dad has this book about the kind of the golden age of cycling, which obviously wasn't the golden age. And in that book, I read this thing about how back in the day, what's that?
Is that obvious? What happened in the golden age of cycling?
Lance Armstrong.
They were all on. They were all on EPOs.
That's the golden age.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So between like the 90s and the 2010s is considered like the golden age, but they were all on EPOs. And back in the day, when it was at its peak, their blood oxygen level was so thick, their red blood cell levels were so thick that they would have to wake up their cyclists on the Tour de France at night and put them on a bike, because otherwise their blood would become so coagulated it would turn to jelly and they would die.
Oh yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because that blood doping's really dangerous, because you take blood out of your body, and then you let your body naturally replenish the blood, and then you put all that blood back in again. So you've got more blood, more red blood cells, more ability to carry oxygen, but you've got more blood in you. So it's like that's what that is. Doping is. That's what blood doping is. Yeah,
and it's quite hard to catch as well, because it's blood.
There's no drugs involved. Yeah, they test other things. Yeah.
Also, like EPOs, like they're quite difficult to catch as well, because they just raise your red blood cell count, and it's quite easy to be like, well, I just trained at altitude. I just did this. I just did that.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of athletes who are talented obviously have naturally very high red blood cell counts, because they can. That's part of what makes you a superior athlete.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
anyway, Triska Zorn, she is the greatest Paralympian of all time.
Triska Zorn was doping. Is that what we're getting from this?
No, of course not.
Maybe it was the 60s.
It was 80s.
Oh yeah, true. She wasn't doing it when she was like 3. Like who's your character again?
My character. Ellie Simmons was not doping when she was 3.
Character. Yeah, what's her name again? Sorry, something Simmons.
Ellie Simmons versus Triska Zorn.
Ellie Simmons. Yeah, sorry. I'm really bad with names. Goodness, right. I mean, I've made my mind up. I have made up my mind on who is the greatest Paralympian. And I think it might be a slight case of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, because Sebek, you were mentioning at the start how when you first were first looking into Paralympic stuff, you kind of got into this idea of like, I want to find the most handicapped person doing the Paralympics and just see how far it goes, kind of thing. But then you realized after a while, that's not what it's about. It's about diversity, inclusivity. It's everyone is welcome. Everyone who obviously can't, isn't up to the standard.
Everyone who qualifies deserves to be there.
Yeah. To compete just for the honor of competing for their country, I think is what it's really all about. And so I don't think it is as fair to criticize another Paralympian who isn't as handicapped, if you would say, as
in your opinion, Seb.
In your opinion, as
I did apologise for those thoughts.
I know, but
it was good. It was good honesty. It was good honesty.
It was good. Yeah, no, it was good honesty. But I think that kind of made my decision for me, because when you have 4.5% of your country's gold medals all by yourself, I mean, was that including team medals?
Including team, yeah.
Okay, not technically all by yourself, but you were definitely involved with. Yeah. For most
in swimming, you have team medals where 4x relay. They all get a medal. Yeah.
I just think you can't do much about that, and the fact that it's really sad that you can't find any footage of her swimming. That's actually really sad.
I know, it sucks, because I was like, it's all well and good saying, she won 41 gold medals, she's the greatest of all time, but it's like you're dominating the stat sheets, but what about the eye test? Do you know what I mean? I want to see like the extent of the domination. Like, see all 10 of those medals won at Barcelona, all 12 at Seoul. Like, just see how crazy she was. 8 world records. Like,
yeah, it makes
it's really sad.
It makes me think, like, you can see Jessie Owens perform at the Olympics in the 30s. In the 30s.
And
even then, it's like she's way above Jessie Owens in her field. Like, way above. So that leaves me to crown Triska Zorn as the GOAT Paralympian. I really enjoyed Ellie Simmons. I think that was a great pick. So
I like Ellie Simmons a lot.
I think my monkey brain has just made me go, this number bigger than that number, therefore better.
Understandably.
And especially because they're both swimming as well. They're both in the same field.
Yeah.
It's like one is just sort of kind of categorically better. Although obviously, what Ellie Simmons went through and what she's done for handicapped people, I think is with that documentary, I think is awareness.
They're both amazing people.
I think it's fantastic. But in terms of pure athletic prowessness, that's what we're guessing at today. Prowessness of the athletic variety.
Prowessness.
I think
41 gold medals.
I think Mrs. or Ms. or Mr. They might be a Mr. by now. Who fucking knows? Zorn is
not Mr.
Okay, Mrs. Zorn. It's annoying that like with women, it's you have Mrs. and Ms. and it's like
depending if they're married, you don't know which
whereas
one to
then
do.
you just have Mr. It's like clean cut, easy. It's Mr. It's always Mr. You're born Mr. You'll die Mr. No matter who you are. It's weird with a Mrs.
Well, unless you listen to what fucking J.K. Rowling's talking about, then you'll fucking die of fucking a non-binary alien, mate. She's such a prick, isn't she?
She's a bellend, yeah.
Right. She wrote good books.
She wrote great books, and they're not even transphobic. They're fine, and then
No, of course they're not. Yeah, I'm very happy with today's win, I have to say. I failed to point out last week, Mork. I broke Vinny's winning streak. I made him not go invincible.
Yeah, you're right.
I should have celebrated more. I've also won 2 in a row. Like, I should have been hounding Vinny for being such a fucking loser that I beat him and he's not going to go undefeated in the season. Like, I should have been.
If I'm a loser for getting one loss, what does that make you, buddy?
Exactly. I should have been hounding him, and I've won 2 in a row.
This is like when fucking. This is like when. What's it called? Fucking Tottenham celebrated
a draw at
a draw.
White Hart Lane, yeah.
Just because we didn't lose. But yeah, I'm buzzing. It was, like I said, it was really fun researching Triska Zorn, but also really frustrating because there wasn't much I could research. It fucking sucks. So if you're listening out there, archive people, British Path.
Fucking pull your dicks out.
Yeah, get some of that shit on YouTube now.
Right. Well.
Right. On that note. Hasta la vida, baby.
Yeah, so this has been the GOAT's greatest Paralympian of all time, and I've been Vinny, he's been Mork, he's been Sebek. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.